friends, welcome to Thirukkural Couplet TV. We have already seen 62 chapters. Now we are coming to 63rd. Chapter number 63. Not yielding to obstacles. We should not yield to obstacles. That is what he says in this chapter. We should not yield to obstacles. We should not be discouraged by the obstacles or hindrances that stop us from going ahead. That is what is explained by Valluvar. And this is also encouraging us. This is also giving us some encouragement whereby we could achieve something, not yielding to obstacles. I have been explaining all these things in accordance with my translation, which is called the Thirukkural English Couplet. Each Kural has been translated as couplets. Kural couplet, Thirukkural couplet. I mean, complying with the Thirukkural's Kural Vinba and definition of couplets. Having 4 words in the first line, 3 words in the next second line, having same syllabic meter in both lines. I have translated using semantical approach, bringing thought and spirit of Valluvar to the translation. Okay, and this has been put in 16 heads called aspects. All 1330 Kurals have been put into 16 aspects. That is all chapters. 133 chapters have been put into 16 heads. Now we are in the 10th head called governance. Let's start with the first one. If suffering befalls, laugh as happiness follows. Now he is encouraging us. This happened in the 60th chapter, Zeal, where he was talking about willpower. You have to be strong-willed to achieve things. Now here he is talking about being not moved away by discouragement. Be strong in will. The same thing in a different way. 621. First Quran. If suffering befalls, laugh as happiness follows. See, the life is with darkness and lights. It's not life is not a bed of roses. It's bed of roses and thoughts. It is not alone happiness. It is happiness and sorrow. But we have to know how to look at. The attitude must be there. How we have to look out the things there in the life. Then only life can be enjoyed. So now that's why he says, if one thing comes in the next thing follows. If happiness comes, next comes sorrow. If lot comes, next comes weeping or lamenting. If darkness comes, light will come. If light comes, darkness will come. If happiness comes, sorrow will come. Sorrow comes, happiness will come. It follows. So don't be worried about your happiness. Don't be worried about your weeping, thinking that you will have a happiness awaiting. If suffering befalls, if you encounter suffering, laugh. Don't be worried. Laugh because happiness awaits. Happiness awaits. Waits for you. It will come. If suffering comes, happiness will come. Happiness comes, suffering will come. If suffering comes, be happy. Next is happiness. So he is encouraging in a positive manner. Be pessimistic. He doesn't ask us to be pessimistic. Be optimistic. Be positive. He is asking us to have an optimistic look at things. Optimistic views. Flooded troubles are overcome through harsh thinking. If you start thinking in your heart, your troubles will be overcome. You will overcome all your troubles if you think in your heart. He is talking about the ullatin ulla kedum. Ullatin ulla kedum. Vellathanaye idumbai arivudayan ullatin ulla kedum. Ullatin ulla heart's thinking. He is talking about heart thinking. The same thing is there you could find in Proverbs 23:7 of the Bible, where it's speaking, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. How can he think in the heart? Only mind thinks, not the heart. But science says when you are in the non-REM sleep in 1 to 3 p.m. in the night, your endocrine glands will function. That time your brain's work stops. 2 hours brain's work stop. That time endocrine glands work starts. That time what happens is, if you sleep, that time you will have a dream. That dream you could remember. That dream will tell about your life. But nobody, except a few, will remember that. That's why they don't know about their life. So they say, and moreover, that is called a transcendental meditation like sleep. That's called a transcendental prayer. So if you are right, you will be praying at that time, not as sitting and shouting and all such type of prayers that we see being prevalent in the world. No, it's a kind of a different kind of thing, which is being spoken by Valdivar, and you can find that in the Bible also, and that is being complemented by science. Now we see fluid troubles are overcome through heart thinking. That time what happens is, your pineal gland, that is one of the glands in the brain, is called pineal. Scientists do not know much about this. They accept. And what happens is, the pineal gland joins with the external force and it brings in some thought to your mind, and that thought goes into the spinal cord. It comes to the heart, then it comes to the brain, because the brain that time brain is asleep. 2 hours endocrine gland is only working. That time the heart the heart is working and the hormonal system is working, but the brain is stopped. It has been stopped. So this time alone the pineal gland is working. So that time you feel in your heart about your life itself, your whole life. What will happen tomorrow? You would know, they say, but nobody knows about it except very few people who have led a spiritual life or something like that. Without spiritual life, whatever is not approving, and the Bible is not approving those people who are very explicitly known spiritual life. No, they will not be known as spiritual persons by other people, but they are spiritual people because they know about themselves and they would be showing themselves in life. That type of people. That's why they think in heart and they will become as they think. This is what is said here. If you are very alert, you will be having that type of thought in your heart, and it will be remembered by you, and you will be led by those thoughts, and you will be overcoming all troubles because you have already known about it. What will happen to you? Because already it was given to you in your vision or something like that. That is possible. Psychologists do research on this one. They are suggesting about this one. That's being accepted as a theory and being proven in most of the cases. So that is what he says. Fluid troubles are overcome through harsh thinking. Next one. Sorrow becomes sorrowful when we destroy sorrow. When sorrow comes to you, you destroy sorrow. Sorrow becomes sorrowful. If you don't consider sorrow as sorrow, what will happen is sorrow becomes sorrowful. Sorrow doesn't think that it will be harming you. Sorrow comes to harm you. If you destroy sorrow, what will happen? Sorrow becomes sorrowful. இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படுப்பர், இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படாதவர். Sorrow becomes sorrowful when destroying sorrow. Next one, 624. An action through Maya Perseverance means difficulties. When an accent means ox, two ox, that is oxen. If oxen through mire, what will happen? Very hard for this oxen to come out, but they have to come out. They are used for agriculture. Through perseverance they come out. So the same way, perseverance for you give you victory. Perseverance means difficulties. You will come out of difficulties because you have perseverance, like oxen through the mire. 625. Despite series of troubles, consecration helps you. If you consecrate yourself for a certain thing, it will help you. Despite series of troubles, if you come across so many troubles, and if you encounter troubles, don't worry about it. Consecration helps us. Consecration means devotion helps us. 626. Being calm in riches calms his sorrows. Being calm in riches calms his sorrows. If you are very calm, and that is your riches, being calm in riches. If you are rich and you are calm, you are calming in riches, you have become very rich. You have become a very rich man, but you are calm. You are calm in riches, calms his sorrows. Being calm in riches calms his sorrows. So that means that you will not have sorrows also. You are calming in riches. You are wealthy, but still you are calm. So that shows that your sorrows will also be calm. You will go through the sorrows very easily. Next one, the great knowing physic bear all troubles. If you know about your body, you will bear all troubles. You won't worry about having your troubles. You will bear. You will tolerate. Next one, 628. Sorrow vanishes if nature is correctly understood. If you understood nature, nature has its own codes. Nature has its own codes. There you could find the cosmic law also. If you know about it, sorrow will vanish. You will not worry about it. Because if you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, this will not happen. Whatever comes on the way, whoever is doing something against you, if anybody takes any effort to do that, will not happen to you, because you are understanding nature correctly. You have understood nature correctly, so that will happen. If you have understood about the cosmic law, that will not happen. Sorrow vanishes if nature is correctly understood. Next one, 629. Pleasure being not pleased, sorrow is unsorrowful. If you don't overjoy the pleasure with pleasure, what will happen is sorrow is unsorrowful. Sorrow will not be sorrowful for you, because you are not, pleasure is not pleasure for you, so sorrow is not sorrow for you. Both are same. Next one, 630. Troubles being considered pleasure, controversial people compromise. Troubles being considered pleasure, controversial people compromise. If you consider troubles as pleasure, if you consider troubles as pleasure, you don't consider pleasure as pleasure. You consider troubles as pleasure. If the enemies are giving you troubles, but you consider those troubles as pleasure, if you do that, controversial people compromise. What will happen? Controversial people compromise. That means these people who are making enmity with you will come and get compromised with you, because you don't consider even that troubles as troubles. You consider troubles as pleasure. So how can they give you trouble? They will get compromised to you, and they will come out with compromise, and peace will be there. You will not have any more trouble. That will ends this chapter. Thank you.